I don't have a very loud voice, so we have to try and listen attentively, okay? But I'll do my best to shout, okay? So welcome everybody. We are very glad that you can make it to this mental health and well-being session, okay? And this is brought to you by CINC, Community Issues and Concerns. This is the name of the organization. But sometimes when we say community issues and concerns, people always think we're all about issues, okay? We're not all about issues. We deal with issues, sometimes using fun. Sometimes we gather at different parks. Sometimes we go to help our elderly people, take them for walks. Sometimes we bring valuable information through our subject experts, just like the one we are doing today, okay? So it's not just all walk. We do have time to play as well. So just some information about where to find your toilet in case of emergency. If you go through the door, you know the corridor, just the way you came in, you have the toilets on your left, okay? And in the case of emergency, which we don't want, but just to let you know, we will all calmly just walk out to the front door. Is that okay? Right. And also, we will be taking pictures and videos. Is everyone okay with that? Yeah? You do not have anything, but just if you need anything, not the mental health talk. I don't know anything about that, but if you need general things, you know, do I have a cup of tea, just call me and I will help you with that. Is that okay? Right. And we also want to thank Stockton Council. We have a representative of them there, and that is Emma. Do you want to give Emma a applause? Because Emma, they made it possible. They made it possible for us to be here. We'll have Emma just say 1 or 2 words in a minute, okay? Right, now, this is how the program will run. We're gonna have our first speaker, Dr. FISAYO. We'll give him a round of applause. Okay. And then when Dr. FISAYO finishes talking to us about mental health, we're going to have a short break. We've got bananas, we've got tea if you want tea, we've got juice if you want. If you want to go for a toilet break, we'll have a short break. Now, when we come back, we have another person with us, Dr. Ashira. Okay? So, Dr. Ashira will take us, and immediately we'll finish with that. We will go straight into the art session, which will be facilitated by none other than our lovely Jen. You want to give her a round of applause? And when that is done, then we're going to have a lunch. Is that okay? Is that a good plan?
Well planned.
Right. So just a little about mental health. I think mental health is just as important as your physical health, okay? And we do recognize that young people like you and me, right? Forget about all these other people, just you and me, young people like us, right? We have we have a lot of pressures, right? Pressures that comes from social expectations, pressures that come from academic, influence of social media, and so on. We know that there are all these pressures. So do not leave here today not taking anything with you, okay? There will be time for questions and answers. If you have any questions, the speakers will be able to take it. Is that okay? So don't leave here not taking anything, any information with you. Is that okay? Okay, so I'll hand you over to Dr. FISAYO, but before I do that, I'll just ask if Emma has anything to say to you guys, and then we can just ask. Emma, if you want to come over here, and I'll just put that on you. Okay, you can hold it.
I just want to say thank you so much for having me here. So we have funded to make sure that things like this can happen because we know how important it is for young people to come together and to do some experiences, bonding, physical activity, learning about health, all those sorts of things. So when the application came through, we were no doubt that we wanted to come along here, see what you do, and just see the brilliant work that visitors are coming along to pass those messages on to you. So as Ati said, it's really important that you do take something from it. You might think my mental health is fine. But everybody has mental health. Everybody has struggles. So make sure that you are listening and learning and just continuing to come along and making friendships and bonding with each other. But yes, I just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to be here to see what you do as well.
Morning, everyone. How are you this morning? How are you feeling? Tired? Anyone else? How are you feeling this morning? Sorry? Not bad. Surviving? Anybody else from this table? Starving? Anyone else? You're okay? Sorry? Bored? Hopefully, by the time I finish my session, you won't be bored. Anyone else? Okay. All right. It's good to have these wonderful faces here today, and we're talking about mental health. I'll just do a brief introduction about myself. So I'm Dr. FISAYO, but most people call me Dr. Adi. So my background is I'm a consultant psychiatrist, but I specialize with the children, young children and adolescents. Okay, I work in Middlesbrough. Okay, so I see children from age 0 to age 18. Okay, so that's my area of specialty. Okay, and obviously I see young people with various mental health conditions and mental health difficulties. Okay, and my role is managing that and making sure that they are fit and able to walk back into the society. Okay, how many people feel anxious talking about mental health? How many people, this is a free space, how many people feel anxious when we talk about mental health? Can I see your hands up? How many people feel comfortable talking about mental health? Okay, that's good. That's good. We need to talk about these things, okay? We need to talk about them, okay? Before we start talking about mental health, do everybody know the people start by themselves, by their side, to their right, to their left? Okay. So can you just look to your right, to your left, and ask what are their names? You know her name? No one is speaking to her. What's his name? What's his name? Okay. All right. Let's all come back. Good. 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 Okay. That's quite good. So I'll just do a bit of a test. My brother there. What's her name?
Ida.
Good. Good. Well done. My brother here. What's his name? You forgot him. Okay. Can you remember his name? You forgot him. Okay? So you can ask again. Ask again. Okay? Another quick one. Mm, mm, Sir? What's his name? No clue.
No, wait. Is this Sam? Ah, no.
Okay? Can you remember his name? Ah, he was. Who did you ask for his name?
No one.
No one. Why? Just didn't feel asked to. Okay, so just take that in. What I'm just doing here is just a small exercise. A small exercise on how we interact with people. For my brother there, what's your name? Brian. Brian. My Brian didn't feel like asking anyone for their names. Okay? That is Brian. No fault of Brian. Brian just didn't feel like to ask anybody. But you could see some people were quite very excited asking other people their names, especially my two brothers there. Can you remember his name? Of course. Yeah. And do you know his name? I know you can. They are two best pals, as you can tell. You can see. So that simple exercise brought about something. Okay. There are things you would love to do, and there are things you wouldn't want to do. Okay. Just like Brian. Brian didn't just feel like asking anyone for their name. Okay? And it's important for us to understand that Brian may be feeling something inside of him that might not just want to ask someone for their names, and which is fine. Okay? All right? So when we are talking about mental health, okay, it is just talking about how we feel. Like today I was asking, how do you feel this morning? Some people say good, some people say great, some people say bored. Okay? Some people just feel it's okay. Okay? So how you feel determines the way you're going to be behaving and the way you're going to be acting. Okay? Okay? So before I go about talking about all the various forms of common mental health disorders or difficulties, we'll just do a bit of small exercise, okay? A small exercise where we're just going to be relaxing our bodies and relaxing our minds, okay? I want us to all participate, okay? Participate, and that is the beauty of when we participate, we'll get the best out of what we're doing. Is that okay? But can I just check? How many of you are in primary school? Can I see your hands up? Primary school? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So how many are in secondary school but up to year 9? Can I see your hands up? Up to year 9. Okay. From year 10 above, can I see your hands up? Okay. What category do you fall in? Year 10 above. Okay. I thought you were in the university. Oh, you're in the university. Okay. Which university? What are you studying? Law. Nice. Give him a round of applause. Good. So what we can identify is that we can see various age groups present here. We can see people in primary school, and we can see people in secondary school, and we got somebody in the university. Okay? So that means there are various aspects of our lives as we evolve, as we grow. Okay? So there's a time we were babies, there's a time we were just finding our feet walking, and there's a time we started running about. Okay? So we're just going to do a small exercise, okay? It's just mindfulness, okay? It's just a form of mindfulness. It's just to relax our brain, our mind, our body, okay? All right? Okay? So I would just implore us to just close our eyes. Just close your eyes, okay? Just close your eyes, okay? So it's not a time you are bothered about the person next to you, whether they are closing their eyes or opening their eyes or laughing at you. The only way you could experience this is by you just focusing on yourself and forgetting the next person beside you so that you can concentrate. So by closing your eyes, just think of that wonderful place you want to be, that holiday destination where you are looking at, that place, whether you want it to be like a 5-star, 7-star hotel where you are just all by yourself, maybe by the beach side, maybe it's quite sunny. Just think, just imagine whether you've got a very large penthouse. Just paint that picture of what you are looking at. I know some people might just be laughing and it might seem quite very funny, but I just want us to just reflect and just take our minds out and just look at that perfect holiday, how we want it to be. And just listen to the sound. And just listen. If you're hearing the birds, just listen of what you're just exploring at this moment. And just come back to the present, and you can open your eyes. Okay? Where were you? Woo! Dubai. Good. So when we are talking about mental health, there are some common mental health difficulties. Can anybody mention any that you know? Sorry? Depression, ADHD, PTSD, bipolar, anxiety. Which one?
Acapulco.
What did you say? Hypothermia. Like when you're cold.
Yes.
Okay?
And frostbite.
Frostbite, okay? All right. Anybody else? OCD. Any other? Autism? Schizophrenia? Psychosis? I'm hearing some big stuff. Phobias. Okay. All right. Sorry? Feel free to talk. What did you want to say? I didn't. Cancer. Okay. Eating disorders. Wow. Okay. Thank you very much. So let's all come back now. Okay. So we've mentioned some couple of things. We've talked about anxiety. We've talked about depression. We've talked about psychosis. We've talked about phobias. We've talked about PTSD. Okay? But we're not going to be talking more about what is common within children, within school children. Okay? So I think what is more common among school children is anxiety. Has anyone experienced anxiety before? When was that? Test? Exams? Anyone else experienced anxiety before? Same, okay? Exams, okay? Entering a new school. Anyone else? Sorry? Moving houses. That's another good one. Anyone else? Doing something out of your comfort zone. Doing presentations. Going on a scary coaster ride. Good. Being alone. I know some people enjoy being alone. Okay? So, we've mentioned about anxiety, and then I would ask, is anxiety normal? So, I just had only a few people. If anxiety is normal, can I see your hands up? Okay? Good. Anxiety is normal. We all feel anxious. We all feel anxious. We can put our hands down. We all feel anxious when we have faced different situations, like we've mentioned. We feel anxious. Okay? It's normal. But it becomes a disorder when this anxiety becomes long-lasting and persistent. Okay? So, for example, if anyone here sees a lion, will you be afraid? Yeah. Who said no? Okay? So can I hear, what will you do? What will you do? Calm the lion down. Okay? No, wait. Let's just, he says he will calm the lion down. Okay? Good. That is him. What will you do?
I'll sit down.
You just sit down.
Depending on if it's already I'm down.
Sorry?
If you're already eating, I'll sit down. If it's not, I'll run.
Okay. Depending on how would you know whether the lion is hungry or not hungry? Okay? So if we see a lion, I'm sure your first instinct is not to fight the lion, is to run. What we say, japa, run. Any way, which way, just to escape that situation, which is quite normal. Okay? Now, anxiety can come in various forms. Okay? Who can tell me the various forms anxiety can come? Anyone? Any idea? Sorry? Performance anxiety. Any other? So, social anxiety. Okay? That's totally correct. Some people can be anxious for social gathering like this. Sorry, come again. So detachment is a part of anxiety when it goes long for too much. So it's a way for you to withdraw and isolate yourself. Okay? So when we talk about anxiety, they come in various forms. Some people can be anxious for heights. Some people can be anxious for spiders. Some people can be anxious for dogs. Even when seeing a puppy, they will freeze. And that's me. So everybody might have something that makes them feel anxious. Okay? But it becomes a problem when the anxiety is long lasting. Okay? When it's long lasting and it is persistent. Okay? Then it becomes a problem. Okay? So when people become anxious, what kind of things do you tend to see when you are anxious? Do you notice in your body? What? Shakes? Sweating? Good. Nice one. Difficulty breathing. When you feel anxious, what do you... One common thing that people use. And that is represented by... Yeah, and what do you feel? So your heart's racing quite fast. Okay? Those are the kind of things, obviously. So we've got some people that might have what we call OCDs. It's a form of anxiety. Okay? Phobia is a form of anxiety. Okay? So this becomes an issue, like I said, when it becomes persistent. And how do you think one can overcome their fears or their anxiety? For example, if your anxiety is touching this teddy here, it's either a teddy or a monkey, I don't know. It's a monkey. Or a frog. A dog. Okay. So if someone's anxiety is touching this, for example, if he touches it, he feels quite anxious. But it comes to a stage, if he keeps his hand there for a long time, it normalizes. Because what happens? They get used to it. They get used to it. But the problem is that sometimes our brain tells us, oh, I can't get used to it. I have to run away. Okay? Even anxiety might just be you seeing a teacher in class and you just feel anxious. Mr. Smith has come again. He's going to pick on me. It could be even someone in school you see and you become quite anxious about just seeing the person. Things that can cause anxiety at school. One of them is bullying. Has anyone experienced bullying at school before? What was your bullying all about? If you don't mind sharing. What was your bullying about? Okay. So, apart from anxiety, another common difficulty people experience is low mood. Sometimes we call it depression. We call it depression. It's quite very, very common. It's very common among the young people. And what low moods just basically means that the way they feel in their body, they don't feel right. They feel sadness. They feel loneliness. They feel that emptiness within them. And the way depression works is feeding on the mind. What thoughts are you having? What are you actually thinking in your head? Sorry, what's your name? Sarah. Is that correct? Shewa. Sewa. Okay, Sewa. So for Sewa, for example, I'm just meeting her for the first time. And for example, I say something nasty to Sewa. For example, I say, you're not ugly, but I just say, Sewa. No, I'm just using it as, you're not ugly, you're beautiful. And I just say, Sewa, you're ugly. Do you know what that statement does to the mind? How beautiful Sewa is that she goes back home thinking, I must be really, really ugly. You understand? Goes back home and starts thinking, I must be really, really hungry. As funny as it may sound, that's how it starts. And then she starts thinking and ruminating on that statement. What then happens is that she might not sleep because what she's thinking about just one statement. And see how long that one statement, maybe it was just less than a minute. And she's already thinking about that statement for weeks, for months, for years. And what the mind tells her is that she's actually not beautiful. Her noticing that statement that she's not beautiful, what will Sarah then do? She might not want to go out. She might want to keep to herself. She may not want to go out to the shops, even when she goes to school. She might not want to be in school all the time and finding excuses not to go to school. May not tell the mom. Someone said, I'm ugly, and keeps dwelling on that statement. And she may say, oh, today I have a headache. I don't want to go to school. I have tummy pains. I don't want to go to school. And that's how it starts. Just by one word. One word. And then people start having negative thinking and negative thought patterns. That negative thought she had would affect how she feels. Do you think she will be happy? She'll be sad. And in the moment of her sadness, what she does is that she withdraws herself. Someone that was quite very bubbly becomes someone who withdraws herself into her shell. And that's how the mind goes on a roller coaster, on a continuous cycle. And what we do as psychiatrists is breaking that cycle, that pattern, and resetting it to positive thinking, positive thought. It will be different if Sarah had said, I know, I'm beautiful. You may think I'm ugly. That's yours. But for me, I'm beautiful. And that's it. That's the end. But that seed that was sown, if you are not matured enough, might have catastrophic impact. And with your mood going low, various thoughts start coming into your mind. Thoughts of not wanting to be here. Thoughts of even harming yourself in any way. You can harm yourself by not wanting to eat. Someone said eating disorders. You might harm yourself by doing things to your body, or taking things into your body that you're not supposed to take, just because you want to get rid of that bad thought. And I guess the reason why we are talking about it here is for us to be able to identify when we feel not great within ourselves, where to look for help, where to look for support. And I guess that is the essence of today's meeting, to give us more information about mental health. Okay? We all here, the way we feel, the way I experience my anxiety is different from the way he experiences his own anxiety, and is different from the way he experiences his own anxiety. No two people have the same form of anxiety. Their levels are quite very, very different. Okay? Their levels are quite very, very different. So it's important that we take good care of our mental health, because we do not want it to spiral down to severe mental health problems. And when we talk about severe mental health problems, some people mention psychosis, some people mention bipolar. Basically, what those basically means, you're hearing voices when no one is actually there. You hear people talk to you and you're looking who is talking and no one there. Those are signs of severe mental health problems. Okay? Or you seeing things. How many of you have maybe at night somewhere, or the light is off, or you wake up, maybe you see your coat and you think it's someone, a man standing, and you just how many of you have experienced that? Yeah. It is common that, oh, we just wake up. The next thing, what's that coat doing there? Before your brain thinks to say, oh, my coat, I put it there. Because the way the mind interprets things sometimes, it might just the way we are feeling at that point in time. Okay? So we talked about anxiety, we talked about depression. I've just touched a bit about psychosis. Another common things you might see in schools, and obviously for you as children to understand, is that the way we are wired individually is different. The way I'm wired is different from you, is different from you, is different from you, is different from you, is different from you. Why do I say so? We have some young people that you might see or come across, and we talk about neurodiversity. They have what we call ADHD, or they have autism. Okay? These are conditions that it's no fault of theirs. Okay? They might not know how to interpret people's feelings. And you can see some other people, they might not be able to sit still, just disturbing the class. Okay? These are children who need some sort of support without any fault of their own. They are not naughty kids. They're just having difficulties in their daily life. I know my time is fast spent, but I would entertain questions. Maybe my questions might be after Dr. Ashu speaks after me, but if you have any questions and you might feel shy not being able to speak, please write them down, and we'll be able to take that. Thank you very much.
We're going to take like 5 minutes, just 5 minutes break. You can use the loo, you can get some bananas, you can just stretch yourself if you want, and then we will come back. Is that okay?